Welcome to the HomeBrew Podcast with your hosts, Kevin McDermott, Eric Alanese, and Chris Ruth, discussing movies, beer, and everything in between. Let's get weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HomeBrew Podcast, where we talk about movies, beer, and everything in between.
Between your legs.
Tonight, we have very special guest.
Very salty.
Of nobody. We don't have a guest tonight.
Nope.
Episode 2, Season 2. We're doing this, baby. This is it. The HomeBrew Podcast.
Yeah, where we talk about movies. Our logo says gear, but we've yet to talk about gear. But we're going to have an episode eventually. I'm going to get a bunch of wedding photographers on here and call it I Hate My Job. That'll be what it's called. No, it's where we talk about, more gear stuff. But we do talk about beer a little bit, sort of.
We're getting better.
I talk about movies.
We talk a lot about movies.
Yeah, so if you like movies, I think you're in the right podcast. But, and even then, like, a lot of the movies that we talk about are just kind of... It's kind of vague the way we talk about them.
I guess so, right?
Well, whatever.
We don't really dive into too much, I guess, but I mean...
We give an opinion, should you watch it or not.
Yeah.
And we give some good key points, maybe.
And you know what? Like, from the people I've talked to, I'm surprised sometimes because they're like... I'll meet, like... Not meet, but, like, I know, like, random people that they're just like, hey, dude, I like your podcast. Like, keep it up. I'm like, dude, what? Did you actually listen to it?
Chris looked at the stats today, and it said we only had 8 listens, and I'm pretty sure that's us.
We only had 8 listens?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And I've never listened to it on so I don't know. It must be you two.
So,
no, I'm just
2
joking.
of us. I was like, so there's 6 other people who listen to us.
No, I was just joking about the listens, but I don't know. I'm interested to see if Chris ever pulls up those stats for us.
I will. I've sent them to you guys a couple times in screenshots, but I'll send you like the stats for the...
When we started all this, Chris was supposed to be the tech guy.
Yeah.
And he has yet to touch my peppy.
They're uploaded. Everything's there. I got data.
Is it data or data?
Data. Or data.
It depends if you're talking to some man that's older than you, or if you're referring to technology.
Yeah.
Data.
Oh, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Or data. Anyway, so let's dive into the podcast and talk about movies.
Let's do that. Actually, let's do that.
You wanna mention the beer we're drinking that you bought?
Oh yeah, I think I'm.
Well, I was gonna say that, but then that's why I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Fuck you up. It's my job. Yeah.
I'm still stuck in the Halloween zone.
I don't think you've ever left it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't think you ever left it. You're never gonna leave it.
Okay, who brought that one?
Sorry. God damn. You need to drink one of these, like, quick.
I want to.
Yeah, finish that and drink it. No, I brought that. I picked it up at HEB. I think it was something other than
For those that don't know, it's Blood and Honey Citrus Blonde. It's actually really good. I thought about getting Revolver the other day, but I had it one time, but it wasn't like a special one. It was just Revolver, I guess. I got it at the bar across from Alamo. I thought it was me and you one time. Maybe not.
There's a bar across from Alamo?
Yeah, in the plaza.
Wait, the Alamo or Alamo Draft House?
Alamo Draft House.
The Alamo. We go there all the time. You know.
Yeah. But, I was like, you guys never invited me to the Alamo. I don't remember the Alamo.
The Alamo, man. But it was real harsh. I remember it was like super high in alcohol content, and that's the reason I had gotten it. But this one's actually really good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, wait till you get to those.
You know what? Like, I'm gonna get to this already because I'm gonna be real with you. I just want to try this one.
But the name of this one, it's honest. It's called Blood and Honey, and it's exactly the last time I drank blood mixed with honey. It tasted just like this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Except it has a little bit of citrus in it. So.
Oh yeah, it's
I've yet to have blood honey with an orange.
It's from a blonde. It's the blood and honey from a blonde. With
what
some citrus.
What are you, the New York Ripper?
The New York Ripper.
Or the New York Raper?
We go by Ripper.
We'll go with Ripper.
Kelly Ripper.
Kelly Ripper. This other beer is from Angry Chair Brewing, Untitled Art. It says loaded French toast imperial stout, and I can't express to you how excited I am to try this. When I saw it, I was just like, Eric was just like, don't bring no 4-pack, but I was just like, hold up, bro, because that looks good. Plus
actually, the 4-pack idea was mine. I said, bring a 4-pack.
He didn't.
Is that what he said?
No, he didn't. I got the text proof.
Actually, dude, that I would never buy that. I bet it was like, what, $12 for a 4-pack? The thing looks expensive.
Okay, wait. They're 11% alcohol.
Holy
Excuse me?
No wonder it tastes like shit.
Oh, it doesn't taste like French
11%?
Here, go ahead and grab me one. Right now, bitch.
Dude, that's 11%!
Are we drinking malt liquor or beer?
Oh my god.
There's gonna be
it's oil and
homeless people on the streets drinking this shit. I drink the French toast shit, man.
So I picked this up from I picked this up from Lucy's Snack Bar because they always change out their stuff. Last time I got my beer was from there too. The beer of the week or what? Not the beer of the week. It's not really a beer of the week.
I mean, technically it is kind of.
We change it up.
I think this shit is good.
Yeah.
It's 11%. But I think it's a very, like, it's a real thick beer. But I think it's like, to me, it reminds me of Guinness.
It is.
Something you just kind of sip on. So this kind of beer is good for the podcast. Because we're just kind of sipping on it, you know what I mean?
He's like, he's already almost done. He's like, I've not been sipping on it.
I mean, I've had like 3 or 4 drinks out of it, and it's already getting to the very sweet.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
See, I need another drink.
Dude, that's amazing. That tastes like French toast. Like
it does. Even, I can taste the egg.
They put egg in here.
No, actually, I can dig this, dude.
Dude, this is really good.
Did you guys try that beer that I got? I got the night after the podcast, or the day after the podcast, but it's Nutty Buddy or Squirrel Nuts or something.
The squirrely
Squirrel Nuts or some shit like that. But they sell it at HEB, and it was a peanut butter and marshmallow beer. That one's fucking good too, and it's 9%. It's like $10 for a 6-pack, but I mean, it's like $2 more than Budweiser, you know.
Yeah.
But it's on par with this one, I would say. I think it's pretty good.
So the last time we did the podcast, we did the Squirrely Whiskey.
Yeah.
It's called Squirrely Whiskey Peanut Butter Whiskey,
yeah.
right? So like the day after, my dad had that bottle, and I was like, "Hey, I just tried that," but
I just tried that,
Dad. Yeah. Hey, Dad, I just tried that.
Dad, I just tried that shit, man.
But he put it with he got a Guinness. And he did it like one of the, like almost like an Irish car bomb, but he put that whiskey into the Guinness, dude.
Wait, what whiskey? Oh, the peanut butter whiskey.
Peanut butter whiskey into a Guinness like that, and it was the best thing I've ever. You drop it in.
What do you call it? What is that called? I mean, it's not an Irish car bomb. It's like a squirrel bomb.
I just called it a
peanut butter bomb.
I called it a burnt.
A nut bomb.
I called it a burnt chocolate chip cookie because that's exactly what it tastes like. I told my brother, I was like, dude, what does that taste like?
You know what it should be called? An Irish nut.
We don't call it that, man.
Because, you know, Guinness is an Irish beer.
You drank a bunch of Irish nuts.
And the liquor is called
I don't want to call it that.
The Irish nut. Hey, friend, do you want to try an Irish nut?
Why would you call it a nut because of a squirrel?
You want to take an Irish nut with me?
What'd you say, Chris?
All right, no more for Chris.
I know, cut him off already, dude. He's like,
he's done.
What does that mean?
I said you.
He's cut off already.
I said you want to take an Irish nut with me. But it doesn't sound good now that I said it after the fact.
Man, I want to know more about your dad. He seems. No, I mean he seems. He was probably a drinker back in his day. I'm assuming, right?
I don't know. I mean, he's told me stories.
Because my one of our old friends that you've heard me talking about him before, Hans.
Yeah.
His dad, his grandpa was from Austria, and he's the only dude that I knew. He was already old when he used to visit, and I was only like 13 or 14 back then. That when he's come to America, he'd be like, "This beer is not strong enough," and he would pour liquor inside of his beer all the time.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but he was like an experienced fucking drinker. That dude, he was like 70 years old, could drink anyone under the table. So that's what it reminds me of, you know.
So a fun fact: my great grandfather, my dad's grandfather, was straight from Ireland. His name was Jack McDermott, and he always told my dad. My dad was like a little kid at the time, and he'd always tell my dad, a true Irishman never walks out of a bar. He either stumbles. Or he crawls out, or he's kicked out. But he never walks out of a bar.
You see, and that's why Kevin has been able to adapt so well with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to try to keep up with the legacy. So.
Like it.
Yeah, but that's just a little fun fact that he always used to tell me that. I was just like, man, I want to get that tattooed on me one of these days.
The entire thing about someone walking out.
Yeah, right. You don't get kicked out of a bar. You either crawl out or you get kicked out.
Yeah. Just do it in shitty handwriting so it's all fading.
Yeah, right. One of these days I'll just get like super drunk and like write out on a napkin and then just go to a tattoo artist and be like, do it.
Here.
Tattoos, here. Like, I don't.
It's going to be backwards. If you look at the mirror and see it backwards, like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I never heard that. Yeah. That's good. I'm going to have to try that, dude. I think every time I'm going to buy whiskey for now, it'll probably could be that peanut butter beer. Whiskey, I mean, peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, the peanut butter whiskey. But try it, like I said, drop it into like a glass of Guinness, and it's like...
It was the same one that we had?
Yeah.
It's only $20 here for that bottle.
I'm going to go buy some right after this.
They're going to get fucked up. But, yeah, no. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm going to have to, with the Guinness, yeah, sounds good. But the beer, the one that you got, just so everyone knows, it's... Kevin said it, but I'm just going to say it again. It's Angry Chair Brewing. I've never heard of that. Untitled Art. Loaded French Toast Imperial Stout. Put it next to the camera, Kev, because there's like close up. Let them see that beauty of a can.
It is fucking sweet.
Oh,
I always wonder if
it's not too sweet. It's like it just tastes like French toast. It's got a little bit of the syrup, maybe.
To me, in the front, like when you first drink it, it's got this sweet, super overpowering taste.
Yeah, it's sweet, but
it's not like overpowering.
It tastes like French toast.
It's not like that, like syrupy sweet that you like. You're like. Meh, meh.
It reminds me of that peanut butter beer.
Yeah, it's kind of like the peanut butter beer, I think.
Yeah, we got to get that next time. It's pretty good. But
pair with that.
Put it on the list.
Anyways, as this stupid motherfucker would say, I
digress.
Took a shit earlier, and dude, I talk about it. It's just like, anyways. So, what do you guys want to get to?
Let's talk about Chris's movie. He said he saw a movie this week, and I'm like, "What? Chris saw a movie?"
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah,
I did it, Daddy.
And the title sounds so cheesy.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure it has Steven Seagal in it. Is what he was saying, right?
No, it's got Bruce Willis in it actually.
Close enough.
I watched. Let me make sure I get the title right. It's called
Hard Dick.
Hard Kill.
Die Hard Dick.
so it was on Netflix, and it showed up as like one of the top 10 Netflix. You know, they do that thing now where it's like top 10. And it was Hard Kill, and it was Bruce Willis with the dude from John Tucker Must Die. Those are like the two dudes on the poster or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. It's an action movie. Let me watch it. And like the synopsis is like, it's a gang of ex-mercenary, ex-military people have to protect a billionaire. And the story rolls out that he's the billionaire has like the codes to a world-ending super virus in his head, so like they have to protect him.
God,
it is so fucking terrible. It is worth the watch. Like I think everyone should watch it because it's an action movie that really just plays out as a comedy.
Why is it bad though? I mean, it has Bruce Willis in it, you know.
It has Bruce Willis in it, but it's so disconnected. Like the overacting in it is fucking ridiculous.
But I would say that 90% of like action movies are stupid.
To me,
so if you're gonna watch an action movie with like Bruce Willis, it's the same thing if you're watching an action movie with like that bald head.
So okay, so let me explain a little better. So Bruce Willis in the movie is not action driven at all. He's a statue.
Well, he's old.
It's like a billionaire, and he's like this.
Oh, he's like the billionaire.
He's the billionaire in the movie. So like he's the one they have to protect, and the ex-military is like it's the total cliche team of like it's like they're ex-military and super ripped and
I don't know. Every action movie that is like that. I feel like
maybe in the 80s.
To me, watching it, like it turned comical. Like in the first like 5 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, there's so much overacting and like it feels like they went over their budget of what they wanted to, that were trying to do. Like in even like story holes were bad. Like the CGI, like they had scar wounds they tied into the story. Like they shot up the dude's scar in the back where like the main guy tried to kill him and like he has this super scar on his back that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it just feeds on from there. And so the team of it is like that guy, the John Tucker Must Die dude is like a military dude.
Who's that? Why do you keep saying that? I don't know who that. What is that? John Tucker Must Die.
He has the face you'd remember if you saw it, and that's the only movie I can think of that he was in.
Yeah. That movie came out like in 2007, 2006.
It sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
If you saw the guy, you'd recognize him. Like he's been in a couple of things, I think probably, but that's the most notable.
He's John Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I would like. Even working at Blockbuster, I couldn't even pull up my little IMDb database to
find a picture and throw it up as a display or something.
Yeah,
maybe
right here.
So it's that guy. And then they have the cliche team of like ex-military, like we're a band of militias. Like it's like there's a chick that's all super like badass in it that's got like purple hair and she's like I don't know, made to be like the hot chick in the group.
Don't you think that's like every big budget action movie? stupid to me, like action movie. But I've never been fond of action movies ever since I was a kid. But that's what it reminds me of. If you watch like more action movies, like you'll see, because my dad used to love them, and I remember they were just so outlandish. Like I don't know.
I feel like this was the same way, but excuse me, but it like everything about the movie just turned comical. Like the dialogue was terrible. Like the
And you finished it?
Yeah.
Why?
A lot of times I get to where like, well, actually,
you're so invested.
To be 100% honest, I finished it. I was like, this is the perfect movie to talk about on the podcast, because it was like, it turned comical for me. Like every time they did something stupid, like it was like.
Well, I don't think you've ever given a review this in depth, so.
Yeah, what was the name of it?
Hard Kill.
Hard Kill. Oh,
you should just watch it.
I'm gonna watch it for 100%.
Like, it's like it turns comedy. Like you're laughing at the movie the entire time because there's just ridiculous shit that happens.
Chris didn't really have to bring up his phone. He didn't really have to think about anything.
I did for the first 30 seconds. I pulled it up. I was like, okay,
but
here's
dude,
a couple things.
This is the
Chris,
best
you
review.
like
You have I think you like this movie.
You like
honestly.
this movie?
Yeah, I know 100%. 10 out of 10.
Would watch again.
Would recommend other people to watch it again, but never would see it myself.
Oh my god,
that was a great review. That was the best one yet.
Honestly, yeah.
I put a little bit of effort in this one. Literally, I watched it and I was like, I gotta talk about this on the podcast. I started watching, I was like, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. Like, it was good.
You were hyped.
Okay, so it was good in a bad way.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part? Like, just like, what was a cool part or something, I guess? Or like,
is there like a scene that just like is so
bad that it's
gory
good, you know?
or bad or something?
Yeah, was there gore in it? Was it like a
gory? It was more of the ridiculousness of like the problem, like when they get tricked into like, oh, we got to go to this like secret warehouse and we're going to protect him here, and they're like, oh, surprise, motherfucker, they're actually coming here.
Oh yeah,
and they have no guns. Or like, the one guy in the group is like, we need time to prepare, and we've got to do this. We can't just jump into this mission. We got to prepare, and we got to know all our ops and everything. And they show up and have like nothing. They got like 2 guns, and like the entire army that's outside the gates have like, you know.
So then what happens? Don't spoil it. I thought we spoiled it.
Okay, spoil it. Fine. I'm gonna watch it either way.
I mean, they win. Like, it's
they're the good guys.
They all
want to know how now.
They all one tap shoot everybody in the head, and it's no big deal. They're like around corners.
But it's like what I said earlier. It's like the cool thing about these movies though is like you don't have to think about it. You just kind of like It's one of those movies you can just like put on. You can kind of be on your phone at the same time, but still know what's going on.
Yeah,
you know?
and
like,
you catch like the funny parts. You're like, oh, it's bullshit happening. Like there's bullet spray, but then they get into like a serious conversation where it's like the chick's brother that's also a member of the team, and like they wrong him, and it's like, I'm gonna kill for this dude, and it's just so over the top, like
I'm
ridiculous.
gonna kill for him.
Daddy, killed my brother.
Why did you both say that?
Let's talk like this for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, daddy.
Yeah, all right. Kevin, you want to go next or?
I guess I could go next. So, this week I didn't watch just a movie. I watched. First of all, how do you pronounce it? Is it documentary or documentary? Chris.
I call it documentary.
Both apply. I don't think there's a wrong or right answer.
Okay, how do you say it though?
Documentary.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't forget it.
I'm always
I couldn't remember how to say it after I said it. I was all documentary. I'm like, shit, how do you say that?
Yeah, I always get like that too because my parents both, one says documentary and one says documentary. So like growing up, I don't hear it both ways, and like now I'm always like, how do I say it properly? But all right, I watched a documentary.
Wait, who said it like that? Your mom or your dad?
My mom says documentary, and I don't know why. I feel like that's a northern thing, but she's from like Texas.
How do you say it?
I now just switched to documentary. I just switched
documentary
like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, but which one would you say is the right one?
I don't know, man.
Documentary.
Documentary or
documentary. Documentary sounds right. Right?
Yeah.
Or how do you say it?
Documentary.
I just switched it to documentary, but like I was for the longest time I would say documentary.
Yeah, documentary sounds fine.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
I've heard so many.
Fuck that.
Yeah. That's a bad word.
Fuck that word.
Stupid ass word.
Dumbass word. So I watched a documentary.
I vow to never say that word again.
I will never say it. I watched a
A doc.
I watched a documentary the other day about. It's called Class Action Park. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Action Park.
Is it the one about the what do you call it? There's roller coasters and shit.
Well, that's any like amusement park.
Yeah. No, is it about amusement parks? Or something? Okay.
So it's about an amusement park. It was based in the 80s. It's in New Jersey, but basically the guy who ran it, he was like this guy who was just like, he wanted to just say like no holds bar, like whatever you want to do, just go out and do it. Like we're gonna make the craziest ride, and there's no regulations. And back in the 80s, apparently, you guys are 80s kids.
I feel like I saw this trailer
the one where like people died at the park or whatever.
People died at this park. It was the craziest thing, and like they would just make these weird rides. So the first time they made this ride, which was basically like it was a water slide, right? But then it would loop, and then like there was a loop in it, right, in the water slide. So the first time they ran it, they ran dummies through it, and these dummies would come out like with missing arms, decapitated and shit, you know? And so eventually they would get like the logistics right, but no one wanted to ride the ride. The owner of the park would come up with $100, and he would hire kids who were like, they were like under the age that they were supposed to be. They were like 14, 15, 16 years old. These are the kids who were running the park. And he would come up to them with $100 and say, I'll give you $100 if you go on that ride and test it out. For human reasons, like just to test out to see if the human could ride it. That's
how they used to find out you have to be this tall to ride. Yeah, so they go too low. Like, oh nope, go a little higher.
Or that weight, they're getting like a little chubby kid.
So this dude, the owner, and I'm
read it.
I'm like drawing blanks on the name. His name was Gene something. He would ask these
Gene
kids.
Wilder?
No, I wish.
Gene Simmons?
No.
Gene.
He would ask these kids though. He'd be like, he was like, here's $100. Go ride the ride or whatever. And these kids were like, $100? Hell yeah, like whatever, dude.
In the 80s, hell yeah.
Yeah. So they would come out with like missing teeth. They would bust their lips. They would like get like messed up. They would come out with like scratches on their arms or whatever. And they'd be like, all right. And he would be like, here's $100. You did it. You know, good job. It's fine. Eventually they got to a point where people were riding that ride, but like they would keep getting hurt. And there was all these injuries, right? So this is one of the things that happened. They went in there for maintenance one day. All the people that were coming out, they would find like these lacerations on their arms and stuff, like cuts and stuff, you know? And they were like, why are people getting cut in here, right? They went in there one day for maintenance, and they found teeth. Like from the people who had smashed their face while riding on that ride and loose teeth. And their teeth were lodged into it. That it was cutting people as they were riding.
Oh, shit.
So this place was a pretty messed up place. Anyways, this documentary on HBO right now, it's called Class Action Park. Basically is about that place. It was called Action Park, New Jersey in the 80s. And basically it was all these people who'd go be crazy kids. And they would ride all these crazy rides. But eventually got to a point where people were like getting seriously injured and dying. And the guy who was like running the place was like supposedly in with a mob and all sorts of crazy stuff that he was always able to like dodge like getting lawsuits. And whenever they got to a lawsuit, he would like go through the lawyers for so long that they wouldn't even like want to sue. They'd be like, it's not even worth it.
Damn.
Yeah. And then there was so many deaths.
Where was the park at?
In New Jersey. Apparently Donald Trump was one of the people who was like trying to invest into that park at one point, and then he went over there to like watch the park, and he was like, "This is too crazy for me," and walked out. He didn't invest into it.
He's like, "There's a lot of minorities that come here, right?"
Yeah, right. I don't like this.
Here's $5 million.
Yeah, right.
Kill them all.
Oh my gosh. Right, like, make it the craziest rides. Make it the craziest.
Maybe
rides.
a ride where they fly off the slide and land on concrete.
Yeah, take the rides, but then we only let a certain group of people onto these rides.
Can we fill the pools with concrete?
One of the things was called the Tarzan swing, and they would jump into a river that was like ice cold, and it was like, it was like a spring-fed river that was ice cold, and the
polar bears at the bottom.
People would like get into shock, and they wouldn't be able to like swim back to the top. Yeah, and they had a bunch of like 16-year-olds being lifeguards trying to get people like trying to save lives. A lot of people died, guys. A lot of people died. Class Action Park,
dude. I remember seeing the trailer for that, but I don't remember how or where. Oh, hey, your lights are back there. I just saw them. So.
Oh, nice.
We found him.
Mystery solved.
Right.
No, that sounds pretty cool. Is it HBO Max or something?
It's on HBO Max right now. Yeah, Class Action Park. Apparently, there was a movie that what's his name? Johnny Knoxville did. That was supposed to be like loosely based off of that. It's a comedy.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because I was gonna say, I was like, there's like a bunch of skateboarders there or something, but that I'd probably think that because of Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember there was a movie trailer I saw where they do like an amusement park.
I think that the one that Johnny Knoxville's in, it's supposed to be like inspired by that event, but this was a real event that happened. Yeah, and a lot of people got seriously injured, and a lot of people died. And they basically, like I just said, there was just no rules.
And what's your rating?
A lot of people got rich on it.
What's my rating of the movie? I don't know, man. I mean, if you're into documentaries, like if you guys are into that, like if you guys like to learn things, it's a pretty average rating, maybe 7.5 or 8 out of 10.
You think that's average?
Pretty nice rating.
Wouldn't average be like 5? Because it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
No, because you're learning a lot of things, I guess, too. There's like this is knowledge you're taking in.
And every time I give
it's
a rating,
conversation starter.
Like, because there's movies sometimes I want to rate that are like, man, that was really good. I'd want to give it like 8 or 9, but I'm like, that's like high up there of like,
yeah.
It's right next to 10, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
that's true.
I'm like 5 would be like right in the middle. So I'm like, to me, 6 and 7 is always kind of like, I liked it.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
worth the watch. 6
All right.
watch.
Well, for the average viewer, see, I don't know how to judge it. If it's like documentary reasons, like there's not a lot. Like watching this documentary, there was
but
people.
You don't think about how did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it because I was just like, this. It's a lot of crazy things that happen, and you're just like, whoa. But also, like as an average viewer, it's not. It'd be like something you put on in the background more, I guess. But also, like even for documentary reasons, like probably like a 6. I'm taking it back now. I'm gonna say it's like probably like a 6, only because there was a lot of people who were like, yeah, we're from Jersey, and back in the 80s, this is what made us. And I'm like, dude, you weren't living just because you went to this place, you know? Like, that wasn't, like, life or something. And they made themselves, they're like, yeah, we're, like, the one guy, he's a comedian, I think. And, but he's like a recurring person on the show that they're interviewing, on the documentary that they interview. But, like, he's, like, the nerdiest looking dude. He's got, like, these big old glasses on, and he's just like, yeah, like, back in the 80s, like, this was what made us tough. I'm like, you're like me, dude. Like we're nerds. Don't put you in that tough category. You were picked on. You've seen the inside of a locker up close and personal, dude. Like,
back in the 80s.
Yeah.
We put our lives at risk.
Yeah, we used to go to school and we'd be like, yeah, look at us, we were at Action Park. We're from New Jersey.
I went to the park and didn't die.
Yeah, look at me, I came back from the park and then died, and I'm from New Jersey. And I'm like, dude, come on. You've been shoved in a locker once or twice, and I've been there. It's all right. It's cool. It's whatever. We've done that. But you're not that guy.
If not shoved in the locker, something's been shoved in somewhere.
The locker.
That's what you want to call it.
Cute.
All right. Have you guys ever been shoved in a locker before?
I could never fit in a locker.
You stole my line.
Unless I was a baby. Try, bitch. Try, put me in.
I dare you.
I will say there was a time I got shoved in a locker. I got kind of tricked into it, though. They were like, hey, dude, can you fit in this locker? And I was just like, I bet. And I got in there. And they closed and locked me, and I was like, damn it. This is high school.
No one gave any, bro. I was like, oh, guess I'll take a nap.
Yeah, guys.
I panicked for a little bit because it was I get claustrophobic, but like I was like, man, whatever.
Kevin was like, I can break the locker.
Yeah. And I was like, take a nap time.
Did you punch your way out?
No, I just screamed and cried until I got out. That's how you do it, man. Whatever, laugh at it. That's how you got out.
I only got picked on like a couple of times in middle school and high school, and one time it was by my neighbor. He was like my best friend growing up. I met him when I was like 8 or something. But then something happened. We were playing basketball, and I accidentally threw the ball at his head, or something. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we're enemies. And the first day of middle school, he's like, I better not see you walking in the halls. So me and my friend, we'd be walking through the halls, and there'd be like, his name was Gator, actually. He was like,
his actual name was Gator?
Well, no, his name was Daniel, but they called him Gator for like, I don't know, it was like a nickname growing up or whatever. And he was super tall he was like taller than everyone, he's a big guy. So, I'd be walking through the halls, and I'd be like, oh, fuck, there's Gator, turn around. He'd be like, and then he would see me and be like, hey, motherfucker, fuck you, and I'm like, oh my God. But, other than that, I mean, I don't think I really got picked on too much. High school a couple of times, but like, if I like, when you're a freshman and sometimes you have classes with like seniors that are fuck ups that they're still taking like freshman classes, and they're all just like fucking cussing at the teacher and like shit like that.
Yeah.
There was this one guy named Ruben. I don't know if you remember that guy, but he was like a senior, like fell the billing times, had a shaved head. Dude was fucking ripped too. He'd wear like polos and his arms would just like bust out of his sleeves. And he had like a shaved head. He was like this Mexican guy. And the teacher would be like, Ruben, you need to throw that away. He's like, fuck you, bitch.
Oh God,
dude. And like every day, like she'd be like, all right, go to the office. It got to the point to where the teachers wouldn't even like send him to the office. They'd be like, they were used to it, dude. And one time I was sharpening my pencil. I was like, when they had those pencil sharpeners like that, And I was like, oh fuck, Ruben's sitting right next to me. I was like, but I need fucking sharpener. So I went and I walked over there, sharpening. He's all, you bitch. He like said something to me, and I was just like, whatever. I didn't hear you. I just walked away. He's like, I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, that's one of the other times. Other than that, I used to play a lot of Magic, and I remember some people would like pick on me, but I would turn around and be like, "What, motherfucker?" People that I wasn't scared of, at least.
You're like, oh no! Turn around, you see, it was Ruben. He's like, ugh.
You must pick and choose your battles, son.
I'm gonna go ahead and put myself in this locker if that's okay.
Yeah, right. Right here, right there. Cool.
Is this one good, or should I go to the next one?
I've only ever been in altercations I can handle. I'll tell you that much.
That's a good way to go about it, though. No, I mean,
not like this guy over here.
I've picked a few battles.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like I was like that in that like in the movies. You always see that guy who like gets shoved in the locker or bullied like constantly. But I was bullied like in middle school a couple times, elementary a couple times. I didn't get bullied much in high school. But I mean, it wasn't anything like ever like in the movies. Like it wasn't really. I wouldn't say it's like bad bullying. I remember the one time though, like this was almost like something from a movie. I was in second grade and I was walking, and I was like, I was in second grade. And I was like, I saw the girl who had a huge crush on, and I was like, I'm gonna go sit next to her. She had an empty seat next to her, and I was like, I'm gonna go sit right next to her. And I was walking, and this kid named Mark, he was bigger than the other kids for some reason, and he had a shaved head too,
They always do.
Yeah, right? It was like a classic bully thing, yeah. And I was walking over, and I was like, I'm going to sit right next to her. I'm going to get the confidence, because I had a crush on her in first grade, and this was second grade. It's the big leagues. So I was like walking up to her, and I was just like, all right. And I was dedicated, and this dude just straight up trips me, and I fell flat on my face right there in front of everybody. Everyone started laughing, and I was like, you know what? Back of the class, I'll sit back there, whatever. And I went to the back of the class. I didn't get to sit next to her. But everyone was just like, Mark, that was so messed up, man. Like, why would you do that? Blah, 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 blah. That guy bullied me till like 5th grade, and then he became cool with me for some reason.
If you're listening to this shit,
Mark,
next time we see
son
you
of
out,
a bitch,
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Find me.
Yeah, I'm in Texas now. Make the drive down from New York. I'll fight you. Please don't come back over here. I'm so sorry, Mark.
Send us a picture of you first.
Yeah.
And then we'll decide.
Yeah.
Send us your full profile.
Yeah, how bulky are you now,
Add me as a friend.
Yeah, add me as a friend. Let's see how big you got. Because if you're like 10 times bigger than me.
Kevin does a lot of cardio. He'll tire you out, and then me and Chris will take you on afterwards.
And I'm going to, yeah.
At least 10 minutes.
3 versus 1.
Circle.
Bring it on, Mark. Yeah, but that happened. So.
Yeah.
Our lockers were always like 2 split. Like there was a row on the bottom and a row on top, though. Like every time I see like
I could still fit in those.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Yeah.
Every time
they would just like pick you up.
Yeah, get there, man. No, I could still fit in those.
All the movies have like when you get stuff in a locker, it's like the giant one. It's
you
like
can stand in it. Yeah.
It's like half a closet. And you're like, oh,
that's so much room.
For us, it was like,
that's luxury. That's living in luxury.
I'd rent that out right now.
Yeah.
That's the upgraded suite.
I can fit my phone right here, watch movies.
I don't even care. Yeah.
Have baby wipes to take a shower.
Guys, gotta get a fan.
Right.
It's a little hot in here.
Those full ones, yeah, that's luxury,
dude,
man.
That'd be a good skit, right? Like for like a little short, like all these kids are going to school and they open a locker and some guys in there. He's like, oh, I live here. I'm right out.
Excuse me.
And so like every day he like comes out of the locker like in boxers and they're like, oh, he lives here. Whatever.
Yeah.
He comes out like at 5 o'clock one day too early, and someo's walking by. He's like, "Oh, he's in boxers."
He's all sweaty and shit.
I'm trying to take a shower here.
Come on, man. Why do they all got like these accents? Hey, come on. I'm trying to take a shower here.
Because he said Jersey earlier, I guess. I don't know.
Just
that's Action Park.
Everything's Joycey now.
All right, I guess I'll go into
onto your movie.
So as usual, I saw a couple this week. One of them that stood out a lot. I'm not going to talk about too much, but it's called Uncle Frank. I'm not entirely. I can't remember who the director is or even the cinematographer, but the cinematographer is fucking badass. And I ended up. Wait. Oh no! Damn, I saw. Okay, yeah. No, the cinematographer was. I don't know who it was, but I looked him up and I saw another one of his movies. But, anyways, there was a fucking amazing story. It's about a guy who. It's about basically. being young, being raised Southern, and you're gay, and having and it takes place like I guess like in the 80s or something like that, or 70s. Shows like just growing up and being having to try to be accepted and to try not to disappoint your family, and just trying to do the right thing, but also following your heart, kind of thing. And it's like super tragic story or whatever, but it's shot amazing. Character development is fucking amazing. It has the girl, I can't remember her name, the girl from Pennywise. The one with the like green or blue eyes.
Yeah.
The one that in the first It.
Yeah. The leading girl, right?
Yeah, she's come out of a bunch of stuff. She's a fantastic actor. And then the guy, the main character, he's fucking amazing. Everything's just really, really good. And it really touched me in a way to where I was like, by the end of the movie, I was like, man, like, it just sucks for people who are, gay or whatever, bisexual, or I don't know, whatever, if you're different in any way, it just sucks that some people have to go through shit,
Yeah.
They just have it really hard, depending on if the parents are like super Bible thumpers or whatever, like, I don't know. It's really good, but and then I saw
well, how does the title tie in the movie? Who is Uncle Frank?
He's the main character. It's basically about the girl who is she narrates the movie sort of, and she's like, it starts off like this family Thanksgiving kind of dinner, and she like didn't really get along with a lot of her family, and all her family are kind of like hickish, I guess, kind of like redneckish.
Yeah.
But she's like, I always got along with my Uncle Frank, and then it shows him like sitting in like a corner. He's like reading a book. He has glasses, and he's just more eclectic, I guess. You know what I mean? And he ends up as soon as he graduates, he ends up going to New York. He graduates at college or whatever, And he tells her something like, "Don't ever let people dictate who you should be who you want to be," or something like that. You know what I mean? And that like resonates with her. And even after he moves, she always remembers that, and she like bases the rest of her life off that. So she graduates college. She goes to college in New York. You know what I mean? And where he's a professor at, and they kind of reconnect or whatever. And the story unfolds from there. But it was a just fucking great movie.
That's badass.
And then I saw Honey Boy, the one that we talked about last time, but that was Honey Girl or American Honey.
Yeah.
But this one's Honey Boy, and that's based off of
Shia
LaBeouf. Yeah. That was fucking great.
Yeah?
Dude, so good. And it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense why Shia LaBeouf, however say his name, is the way he is. He's like, because whenever I see actors, whatever, I always feel that, like, these guys probably, like, grew up with money. They probably always kind of, like, had a shoe-in. Because a lot of actors sometimes, the ones that are, like, really big names, they're always, like, sons, daughters of, like, producers or, like, someone that was already high up in Hollywood. If you, like, IMDb it and kind of do research, you're like, oh, this guy, like, kind of already had a shoe-in at some point in time.
There's always a lot of, like, fathers and sons and brothers and sisters that always kind of follow the same
line. But like, Shia LaBeouf, he's, like, dude, he had it tough, dude. And he really had to fucking work to get where he's at. And for the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or some shit, but... yeah,
even Stevens on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, even Stevens. And it kind of shows the struggle he had with his family. And they, even being on that show, they didn't pay him that much. You know what I mean? And he basically was paying his dad as, like, a manager or whatever. But they lived at this, like, hotel kind of apartment. It's like a long-term kind of... one of those hotels you can stay at for a couple months.
Stay or whatever.
Yeah. And he had it tough, dude. And you see that it makes sense now. You see him when he's, like, walking through, like, Austin or whatever, and he's fighting or cuts people out or he's all fucked up. It's because he wasn't raised on money, and he wasn't fucking, like he they show him, and he has to be like 11 or 12 years old, and he's smoking cigarettes with his dad. There's no doubt in my mind that probably actually happened.
Yeah.
He plays his dad in the movie, right? Like that's,
yeah. He plays his dad. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And then the guy that plays him when he gets older is a really good actor too. I don't remember his name. He's like up and coming kid, but he was in this movie called Waves too. That's really good. But Honey Boy's really good. But the one that I was gonna talk about was The Goldfinch, which is I don't remember who it's directed by, but after the movie I was like, dude, it just looked amazing. And sure enough, Roger Deakins was the cinematographer on that one. And this one is if you're a fan of like I told you, like Forrest Gump or Benjamin Button, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. You know, those long drawn out movies about one character and their life and stuff.
Yeah.
This is basically one of those movies, and this one's fucking such a good story too as well, just so good. And I don't know who the main character is, but the side character is Finn. Your buddy likes him. Izzy likes him a lot. Finn from Stranger Things.
Wolfhard or something like that?
Huh?
Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things?
Yeah. Is that his name? Finn something?
Wolfhard, I think is what it is.
Wolfhard. But he plays it. He's a character in the movie, and when they're young, because it shows them when they're young, then they show the characters.
He's also
in
It.
Oh yeah. And he plays a Russian, and he's like has this complete Russian accent. It's like, but he does a really good job. But anyways, that movie's kind of one of these movies where you see him as they're young. The story kind of unfolds. Basically, the kid is at this art museum, and he has to be there because he's with his mom, and the principal of the school he goes to is going to be at that art museum, and he got caught with cigarettes, so placed on him, and so he has to go there so his mom could talk to the principal. Well, while he's there, there's a bombing. I don't remember what city they're in, but someone puts a bomb to like a terrorist, I guess.
Yeah. Pretty
much everyone dies, including his mom, and he's like one of the only survivors. Him and like a couple other people. And when he awakes from the ashes, he sees this one painting called the Goldfinch, and he takes it. He doesn't really know why, but he takes it, puts it in his bag. But the thing with the painting the Goldfinch is that it was painted by like a really famous artist like centuries and centuries ago, and that painter had like 50 paintings, right? And there was like a fire, and all of them burned, but that one painting. So that's the only painting that leaves on the legacy of this artist, you know. So it's like a big deal. And he takes it for some reason, and it, I guess he connects that painting with his mom that died in the accident, and then he tries to find places to live, and then he meets people on the way, and then his estranged dad ends up picking him up, who's like Luke Wilson, and he's like a fucking asshole and shit. I don't know. It's a long, dude. The movie's almost 3 hours. But, like, we put it on, like, at 11, and we ended up watching the entire thing, because it's one of those films that, like, you just...
Oh, shit.
You want to know what's going to happen. Every 5 minutes, you're like, dude, like, what's going to happen next, you know? Like I said, it reminds me of, like, Forrest Gump or, like, Benjamin Button or something like that. But I would give all three of those movies probably, like, between an 8 and 9. Honey Boy, Uncle Frank, and The Goldfinch.
Damn. I feel like I didn't watch enough movies now this week.
No
I'm like, hey, I watched a documentary called Class Action Park, and you have like all these badass reviews and movies and stuff. All right, so Uncle Frank, what would you rate it?
Uncle Frank, probably like an 8.
And Honey Boy?
Like 7.58.
And then Goldfinch?
Probably like an 8.
Okay.
Because to me, like a 10 would be like amazing, the best. You know, like
the best movie you ever watched.
I can't even tell you what I would rate anything as a 10. I don't even know if I have a 10 yet in my life.
Damn.
But
you don't have like one movie that you'd watch and you'd be like, this is the perfect movie?
I would say like 1917. That was probably a 9.
I was gonna say like 1917. I remember watching that with you guys in the theater, and I was like, man, this is really good.
That'd probably be like a 9. Yeah.
Yeah. No 10s though, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris has a lot of 10s.
I'd have to think about it. Yeah.
Hard kill?
I got
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I'll watch it again.
It's so good.
All right. Favorite movie?
I couldn't answer that.
No? You don't have a movie that you go to that's just like, this is like the one, like you can fall asleep to it, or you can watch it and just like indulge into it?
I have like several of those, I feel like.
Yeah.
But none of them, not like a go-to, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like it changes with whatever mood I'm in, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, and it's more like visual. Like if I saw something like, oh yeah, let me see that DVD, or let me see that, you know, on Netflix. Oh, that popped up. Like, oh hell yeah.
One that I've been doing that lately with, and Ashley gets annoyed because I put it on. Like you said, usually if I'm tired, she's going to bed, but I'm kind of tired, but I still want to watch them. Is The Tree of Life.
Okay. Damn, that guy made a lot of movies, right? He just what's the director?
Terrence Malick.
He just had that one on Netflix, right?
Did it come out on Netflix? The Hidden, what the hell's it called? It was like the wars going on or something.
I don't know. No, I feel like I've lost.
I know it's Terrence Malick is the director, and then Emmanuel Lubezki's the cinematographer. But I know he came out with a new movie, but I don't think it's on Netflix.
Who's the one who just did that movie on Netflix? Like, I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh, that's Coppola, I think. It's the writer of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I'm pretty sure is Coppola or some shit like that.
Okay.
Anyway, speaking of, tried to watch that. I turned it off.
Yeah?
Couldn't do it.
I've heard a lot of people say that, and I was going to watch it, but like I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, this doesn't look like something I would be too interested in.
I don't know, man. I could imagine a lot of people really liking it, but the dialogue...
It's a very niche kind of crew.
Yeah, I would say totally... Not opposite, but I guess different than... I thought I was going to like it because Eternal Sunshine is amazing, you know? But, like, a lot of real dry dialogue, you know? And a lot of, like, symbolic and poetic dialogue that, like... Dude, I've tried watching this movie since it came out, like, 3 months ago. And every time I put it on, I turn it off because I'm like, dude, like, either, like, I'm trying to eat dinner while I watch it, or, like, I'm, like, on my phone at the same time. But it's one of those movies where, like, you're going to have to sit down, put your phone away, no snacks, and fucking watch the TV. Because
no snacks?
You can't fucking miss a damn thing, you know?
Don't want to watch that.
There's just, like, a lot of, like, the way she talks is very like, poetic, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, a lot of symbology and just, like, metaphors and shit, you know? And it's like, you blink and you miss something. But on top of that, it's just like, I watched it for about 30 minutes, and it was still, like, the same scene. And the movie had just started, and I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this. Like, it just... I don't know. Couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it. But I don't know who the director is, but I know it's a writer who wrote Eternal Sunshine.
I want to say it was the same guy who directed, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
We didn't have a movie of the week, though. I just realized that as we've come to this portion where we usually have a movie of the week.
So I wanted to bring up a point that's like I feel like a big thing these days, especially recently within the last like 2 years, is A24.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm an A24 fan. You know, I have I bought the Hereditary photo book. You know, I bought a fucking A24 shirt. You know, like I love A24, but at the same time, it's really getting annoying, this A24 shit.
Yeah.
And because it's becoming more of it's not just a distribution company, which I don't think people understand. All they fucking do is distribute the movie. You know, they find, okay, hey, we like your movie, we're going to invest $100 million in marketing
to get it across the globe and to get everything out
you know,
there. Like,
DVDs, Blu-rays, we'll put you on Netflix, Amazon
VOD.
Prime, whatever, you know. Yeah, and but I mean, I will say they're niche distributors to where they only pick movies that fit within their niche, you know.
Yeah.
But dude, I feel like people are acting like independent films never existed before A24. I've been hearing the thing go around. Oh, it has A24 vibes. Oh, that has A24 vibes. Oh, that movie, it's very A24. I'm like, motherfucker, IFC has been making independent movies for the last, like, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, Neon is another distribution company that's been doing indie films or I would say, like, artistic style films for, like, fucking the last, like, 8 years, you know? Like,
there was a movie that came out. It was distributed by IFC, back when we were working at Blockbuster, and I remember I bought a camera because they were like, this movie was strictly shot on film, and I was like looking so forward to it. I can't remember the name to it now, man. It was like, because the movie itself was very forgettable, but like it was all shot on film, and it was what you would say nowadays it's a very A24 kind of style, but it was just like you said, it was an independent film.
Yeah.
And there was another company that was Magnolia Films.
Oh, Magnolia.
They were big on that back in the day too, man. Like I feel like everyone just
it's always existed. It's like people. It's like A24 is gaining such big popularity all of a sudden that the people I guess that would never have watched an indie film are now watching indie films, and they're like, I didn't know this shit existed. I only thought movies at the theaters existed. You know, or like I'm like, dude, if you ever like looked outside the box, these movies have always existed, you know? And the thing I think that A24 is known for is just great storytelling and great cinematography. Almost every A24 film has great cinematography. And I think that's what they're doing it so well. They just don't put out anything. They got to make sure that it looks a certain way, has a certain story, you know, like, which totally makes sense. And they're doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't help that the general population is just like exploding it into something that it's like, you know, everyone, I don't know. I'm just kind of like annoyed by the whole thing, you know, like, people, like, I'm part of this A24 group on Facebook, and people like have tattoos of A24, you know what I mean? Like,
there's
this guy that has like the logo on his hand, and I'm like,
damn, that's prime.
I'm like, dude, movies existed before A24, bro. Like,
but A24 knows every good movie.
Maybe what A24 did, like you said earlier, is they took these movies that were like these indie films and they distributed it to like theaters, you know? So they were like, you would see these movies in theaters, like the one that Jonah Hill obviously directed, which was that one, mid-90s.
Mid-90s. Yeah, no, they're doing everything
like
the
that.
right way.
Yeah.
They're smart.
They're taking these movies, though, that aren't blockbusters, and they're putting them into the theater. And
they definitely aren't indie either, because, I mean, look, Jonah Hill's fucking...
Yeah, he's... But you can't just... I mean, at the same time, you can't just grab any actor and say, like, hey... Like, you could be, like, an A-list actor, but then they're like, hey, this is his directorial debut. Like, they're not going to just throw out any, like, Paramount or anything, you know? Like...
Yeah.
So I think A24 was like, for Jonah Hill, that was like, all right, well, that's my chance to like make a name somewhat for myself. If you think Jonah Hill to this day, you're not thinking mid-90s. You're not thinking he's a director, you know? You're thinking he's like dude from Superbad or like the guy from Wolf of Wall Street or something, you know, stuff like that.
One of the first A24 movies, or I would say, I don't know if it was the first, was Spring Breakers. And that one had the Franco brother.
Yeah. James Franco, yeah.
And I remember when that came out, I thought it looked so fucking stupid. It had a bunch of like Selena Gomez or like...
Yeah.
Bunch of like, you know, teen actors from back then. And I never watched it. And I think I might have caught it on HBO one time back in the day. But I was like, I remember thinking, I was like, man, they made this movie to appeal to like kids... You know, it looked like a teeny bopper movie that was like, you know, like these kids, they're drinking, they're at this party, they get involved with this drug dealer, shit goes crazy, and I was like, oh, that's so fucking lame, you know? But that was like the first A24 film, and it could be amazing. I don't know, I've never seen it, but I remember just thinking that I was like, oh, that's such a lame story. But if you think about it, that was their first film, and they've just grown, you know, so much, and they found their pocket of like, this is what we're gonna do. You know, and we're gonna fucking market this shit. And eventually, they made a brand. You can buy coffee mugs. Like I said, I bought a shirt. You can buy posters. Like, or I don't know, just the most random shit you can buy with the A24 logo on it. You know, and people, there's devoted fucking fans. You know, fucking blows my mind. You know,
that logo is like globally known, or I guess for us, world known. You know, like
it's getting there. It's getting there. There's like, you know, I guess you call it like the film students. They're just like A24. It's like the god, you know. It's like
I must study them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just frustrating. You know what I mean? When it's just like, dude, there's so much more. But I will tell you this: like, I've seen a shit ton of A24 movies, and it's hard to say that there's a bad one. At the same time, you know, you can't hate a company for something that they didn't really fucking... It's not their fault that people are fucking like...
You hate the cult following, like, stop.
Yeah, I didn't know indie films were existing, you know? Thank you, A24. But, like...
They brought it to light. Like, it's somewhere between a medium of, like, a blockbuster movie, I would say, and then, like, indie. Because they're bringing it, like, right in the middle.
Bridging that gap.
Well, it reminds me of IFC, which was doing that. But IFC would put really anything out.
Yeah.
They'd put, like, comedies or just kind of, like...
It was a roll of dice. Like, is it good? Is it good?
Like, I don't know, like generic kind of comedies. They even put out like generic kind of action movies. But every now and then, IFC would put out like a really badass, you know, shot very well, you know.
Had some big name actors and stuff.
Yeah. Whereas like A24 is strictly like, it doesn't, A24, like, even if they don't have big actors, like, if it's shot well and it's a good story, they'll distribute that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's just a good like every movie has a look to it, you know what I mean? And if it's not like a certain look, it's like an aesthetic or just like the way the story is. It's hard to explain, but like I saw this one called Under the Silver Lake. Have you heard of that one? It has Spider-Man in it, or the middle Spider-Man, Garfield.
Yeah.
And dude, that movie is a fucking
Middle Spider-Man.
trip.
Find me on Instagram at Middle Spider-Man.
Right, he's the middle. You got
You like Garfield?
you got the
I hate Mondays.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man. You
Yeah.
have Garfield, and then you have
Tom
Impossible
Holland.
Kid. Yeah.
The Impossible Kid. You just had like you just didn't name any of them. You just gave them like all these nicknames. Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Middle Spider-Man, The Impossible Spider-Man.
But dude, you should watch it, Chris. Have you seen it before? Under the Silver Lake.
No. It sounds very familiar, though.
Fucking trip. And it's another one. It's like 2.5 hours long. Like it's by the same director who did It Follows.
Yeah.
So it has a very It Follows kind of vibe to it, but like on another level of like.
You said Under the Silver Lake?
Under the Silver Lake. And every 5 minutes, it's just like, what the fuck? It's like someone said it's like living in someone's, or you're watching like someone's dream.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is. It's like
okay.
Very random. The story's kind of like, I would say not all over the place, but like everything's done specifically. And when you at the end of the movie, you're like, what did I just watch? But it kind of makes sense, kind of thing, you know? Like, I don't know. It's a fucking... But that's another A24 film, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's my A24 rant. I've been wanting to get off my...
/ rant off.
No, I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
Oh, but you guys noticed that, right? This whole A24 fucking aesthetic.
There's definitely a following.
Cult following,
and,
like...
Yeah. And I think I think now that I'm like heading towards my 30s, I think I'm like I'm starting to realize these things because I mean, back in the Blockbuster day when we would rent movies and stuff like that.
Back in my day when you had to rewind.
All the indie movies were Magnolia, IFC, you know, and you'd be like, well, if I feel like watching an indie film this week, like if I want to watch a blockbuster, you know, obviously the ones on the new release wall. If I'm gonna watch an indie film, it's gonna be Magnolia or IFC. But those were, like, people would know, like, that's what I'm getting into. You know, you would know what you're diving into. And then, like you said, like, A24 didn't do exactly just anything new. They took movies that were, like, Magnolia or IFC, but they would you know, have, like, I don't know, they bridged it. Like you said earlier, they bridged it to theatrical releases. But it's anything new. Like, it's something that's been there for a while. So I can see where the annoyance may come from when you're like, well, dude, like, just dig a little deeper, you know. If you're like all into these movies, like there's so many good movies that aren't something that like you would.
That's exactly the way to put it. It's like just dig a little deeper. Like there's so many good films out there. Just because it doesn't say A24, doesn't mean that it's not gonna be a fucking great film. You just
they can't release every movie in the fucking world.
Yeah.
But with that being said, over the last like several months, I've been trying to watch most of the A24 films just to like, I don't know, see, because I was like every time I used to see the logo, I'd be like, okay, I already knew this was going to be good at the very, very beginning of the movie. Oh, a trailer or whatever, A24. Okay, this is going to be badass. You know, Hereditary, Lighthouse, The Witch. You know, that's another thing too. Back in the rant. A lot of people with A24 are like Hereditary, Lighthouse, and The Witch.
Yeah.
It's like the only fucking movies they know.
There's so many other fucking movies.
I'm like, dude, there are so many A24. I would say my favorite A24 film is probably Moonlight. Under that is Waves, and under that is probably Hereditary. And then, I mean, you have like Florida Project, American Honey was A24 too, you know, but it's like the only ones that people like really recognize is Lighthouse, Hereditary, The Witch.
Yeah. It's weird because like
Robert Eggers.
Yeah. That's like right. That's the trailer right there.
Like, dude.
No, like a lot of people like think that when I think A24, I think the first movie that comes to my mind is mid-90s because I remember seeing the trailer for that and they were like, they marketed it, they were like, Jonah Hill this, Jonah Hill that, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be something that's similar to like his movies, you know? And it wasn't. It was a very, like you said, like a slow burn storytelling of this kid who grew up in the 90s who wanted to learn how to skate.
Have you seen it, Chris?
No.
The whole movie's that.
It's a throwback for sure.
Yeah.
I saw a shit ton of like press coverage, not press coverage, but like the where he goes and does like a sneaker show with it, and he brings the kids out, or like like the pre-production stuff, or the post-production stuff.
It's basically a throwback to like mostly like I would say mine and Chris's age, because it's like Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
It was based in the what generation was it? The mid '90s.
Oh yeah. But no, it shows like the kid. It's so funny because he has an older brother, and he goes into his room. He's like looking at shit, and I had an older brother around the same time, and I remember, dude, I would like take one CD and go to my room, and, like listen to it. Dude, EJ would like run in my room, kick the door open. He's like, "Where the fuck's my CD?" And he would like beat the shit out of me, like no joke, And he'd be like, "If you do that again, I'm gonna fucking kill you next time," or something like that. And I'm like, all right, but I mean, it was a thing you did back then, like, you stole your older brother's shirts, or, and then the whole skateboarding thing, like skateboarding was huge back then, it was like gigantic, we all skated and went everywhere, I don't know, I remember when I have yet to finish that movie, because Ashley, every time I put it on, she doesn't really like it. She's like, or there's like a lot of cussing, so I always play it, like if the kids are like walking around, I have to turn it off, whatever. But I've gotten about halfway through, and every time I watch it, it's just very like nostalgic, like
that's
nostalgic.
Exactly what they're aiming at. They hit the nostalgia in the head, I feel, for anyone who lived in that era. But for me, the mid '90s for me were like elementary years. So like I'm like, I wasn't exactly that kid in middle school or anything like that learning how to skateboard, but I do remember the time being so much different than I guess I don't know, like I don't think that like it, I don't know. There was certain nostalgic things that hit to me because it's like it's just you and your buddies. There was no cell phones. You're just riding your bikes, you're riding your skateboards or whatever and stuff like that. And there was like, you'd get home before like dinner, before you'd judge by the streetlights and stuff like that.
If you split apart, they're like, oh fuck, meet me up at the Circle K at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just have kids sitting outside waiting.
Yeah.
My friend's gonna be here. He told me he'd be here. I'm waiting.
Yeah. There was no other way to communicate and stuff like that. So there's certain things I can get that were nostalgic. I was a little bit younger, obviously, at that point, but like, I don't know. There was definitely certain things, but to me, that's what A24 was. Like that movie, that's the first one that comes to my mind when I think of it, because I was like I said, I was very excited for like Jonah Hill to do his directorial debut, thinking it was going to be a comedy, and it wasn't. It was just and the weird thing is, it's not really like a huge story. It's not like a great story, Like there's nothing like that's like makes it like better than.
I think what he was trying to do was like recreate a movie called Kids, but like in his own way.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, Kids? I can't remember who the director is, but the guy's done like a lot of movies, and he's known for having these like really fucked up stories about society and like how it is with kids, teenagers or whatever.
Yeah.
He did this one called Kids, one called Gummo, I don't know how you say it, and then one called the other one I saw was called What's Up Rockers, but they're all about like teenagers and just like the reality, and not like it's like usually teenagers that grow up kind of like on the bad side of town, lower class kind of stuff, and it's like the brutal reality of what your kids are actually doing, and I feel like Jonah Hill, I feel like tried to kind of like make his own version, which I would say was probably the PG-13 version of Kids, because Kids is fucked up.
Yeah,
but that's what it reminded me a lot of that. I feel like when I saw the trailer and part of it.
Yeah.
Would you hit me up with a Blood and Honey?
Yeah, hook me up with the Blood and Honey too.
You guys are like, I'm done with that other one.
It's very heavy, but I feel like I got a pretty good buzz off just drinking that one tall beer. Yeah.
Get that ASMR going, boys.
Gotcha. That was a good conversation, though. Got a lot off my chest.
Got a lot off my chest about how much
I've been wanting to say that for so long.
The 3 last podcast episodes, I'll bring it up, but I'm waiting. We're gonna have an A24 conversation. I'm just waiting
to talk about it, but not right now.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up, Kev, Chris, you guys have anything you want to say?
Thank you for watching.
This beer was brought to you by Lucy's Bar. Thank you for watching.
We love you.
Yeah, Lucy.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Lucy, if you're listening to this, I love your bar.
You have nice beer.
And you also have nice
beer.
Nuts. Donuts.
I love dough.
Donuts are cool.
What they?
That's my job.
They have donuts there, though, right?
No.
Pretty sure I've gone like in the early morning, afternoon. They have like pastries and shit.
No.
It's not a donut, motherfucker.
They have pastries there.
No.
Dude, this is not the same place. And when last time Bird was here, we like talked about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's the same place."
Yeah, they have everything.
It's right next to Executive Surf Club.
No. No. Yeah, this is the same place. No, that's the same place. I didn't know they had donuts because, damn it, I would have brought donuts if that was the case.
I'm pretty sure they have some kind of pastries or some shit like that.
Hey, you fucking asshole. Bring
And
some
coffee.
next time.
I didn't know. I mean,
dude, I brought you a French toast imperial stout.
I know that 4-pack is probably like $12, right?
10, 9 something.
9
something.
9.
This 12-pack was 9 something. 9 something per beer.
Isn't that like a Hitler thing that we just did?
Maybe, yeah.
It's a German thing. Doesn't make it Hitler.
Hey, we cut before that though, so.
9 is German, not
Chris said 9 beers. We're drinking 9.
It's fucking German for no. It's not like it's a Hitler thing.
That's a Hitler thing, though. No, that's a Hitler thing, man. You can't
Chris
just say
defending the white people as usual.
that. Classic Chris.
Classic Chris.
That's classic Chris.
Silly me.
Imperial stout with maple syrup, cinnamon, and milk sugar. Uh-oh.
Good luck, Kevin. Tonight you're gonna be.
Oh shit! Yeah, imperial stout, maple syrup, cinnamon, milk sugar with gingerbread man cum.
Yeah, if you're lactose intolerant, go fuck yourself.
Oh no.
Oh, infused with walnuts.
Oh, all right.
Chris is gonna die.
Bye, guys.
Well, with that being said,
Hey, at least we had a strong beer here because this one's 4.5%.
that's my phone.
Who the fuck brought this pussy ass beer here? 4.5%.
Yeah, I brought this 11% beer. So.
This is blood and honey. Oh yeah, 4.5, buddy.
Yeah.
Drink some light blood.
Drink some French toast. It's 11%.
Right.
Drink some toast oil.
Blood and honey. French toast.
French toast.
Which is stronger? Definitely the blood and honey.
I'm gonna go blood and honey.
It's
Nope.
a French
No, you
toast.
stupid motherfucker. French toast is delicious.
Don't judge a book by its cover, you motherfucker.
Yeah, it's not even 0.5% of it.
Drink syrup.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. If you double
So drinking
this,
one of those is like drinking 2 of those. Math, motherfucker.
Damn.
but not even, because if you drank two of these, it would only be 9%.
2.5, you dumb bitch.
2.5%, dumb bitch.
Yeah. Dumb bitch.
Dumb
Yeah.
bitch. No, we don't.
Bye.
So that was the end of our episode. We talked about movies, beer, and everything in between.
Ooh, recap. What are we talking
All
about?
of it. We talked about movies.
What was your movie?
Action class action park.
What was your movie?
Hard kill.
I have 2 movies.
You talked about like
Like
3 or
14
4.
movies.
You talked about a lot of movies. Anyways, we talked about Hard Kill and Class Action Park, and Eric talked about a lot of movies. Yeah, and it's my job. It's his job. But that being said, that's the end of the podcast.
Thank you for watching.
Can we cue the music right now?
All right.
Transition into from here.
All right. You do it.
Do what?
I just started. Good job, bro.
The music?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
that
wait,
is.
wait. Let's change track. Ooh.
Oh,
I like that.
I like that one. But change it to this. Now let's go back here.
That's a lot of editing. Thanks a lot. That's a lot of cut. Cut.
Play some. Cut. Play
You
some.
did it to yourself, man.
All right. Cut it to Chris's favorite song.
Their penis, I don't like
Now everyone knows that's what he listens to.
That's your favorite song, dude?
their I don't think I like you anymore.
That's such a weird time. Okay.
'Cause when you get to drink,
That is such a bad song.
Anyways,
I don't
so-
like you anymore.
Are we going to leave on Chris's song? Okay.
All right.
Why can't we just get a grip on our
Bye.
hand-to-hand relationship? Come to terms with truly how we feel. If we put our heads together, we just stay home forever. Dear penis, I think I like you after all.